Hey everyone, we had a big weekend last weekend with a bunch of BCSs and even like a WGP happening at the same time. I was at the Sydney one, so this is the first one we're going to start off with. And the best thing about the Sydney one is that I was running the stream for it. So if you're missing out on the action and you just want to see some gameplay, it is all on our channel right now. Standard, V Premium, and Premium. If you want, just go check it out on the channel. It's labeled correctly. Just check the pictures to make sure that you're watching the right stream. But it was we had some really good games, and I'll kind of show you how some of these decks made it to the top right. So for standard, at least we had 2 Ballista and Gandiva. Then we had like 1 Messiah, Lutetia, Megalanozochi, and a Greedon as well. And that Greedon was piloted by Derek Dow, in case you want to know some bigger names, right? But then the actual top 4, first place was Jonah Davis, it was Jinshu Park, and this one was like the Lutetia, right? And then Francis Fortuna came 3rd with the Messiah, and Hubert was 4th with the Snake. But this is actually the first win, I guess, for Gandiva. I know Gandiva's not really, it's been doing well, right? And I think it won like a BRO, but in terms of BCS, this has mainly been other decks. But this time, Gandiva finally got a big win, and in terms of a big win, you'll find a big bind zone sitting there. So if you want to go look at that again, finals were streamed, so you can take a look at that. But then also we had a V Premium going on, and this one had some really weird decks as well. So first off, you know, we had the 2 Aquaforce and Narukami. It's very normal, but as you can see in the Narukami chart, there is a weird armor break deck that is sitting here. Then we also have the Royal Paladins, Grand Blue, Bermuda Triangle, and a Gear Chronicle. And when you look at that Gear Chronicle, you might go, Chronojet, what is that weird looking MFD thing doing on that side of the puzzle? But then finally, when you look at the top 4, the actual top 4, we had John Garvin winning it with Dungaree Armor Break. So it was literally 2 meme decks kind of pushed together, and that's how it worked out. And then second place was Jackie Zhang with the Chronojet MFD deck. We thought it's a Chronojet deck, but surprise, now I get an extra turn. And then the more meta builds, you know, Ren Lee and Mark 1 are 3rd and 4th. Those are with the Aquaforce Thavis type builds. And, you know, that's what you normally expect, I guess. But they, unfortunately, just died. Because, you know, sometimes when you play a deck that runs Excel circles, and then you face against another one, which forces no guard, like, you know, anti-sentinel plus, like, 8 crits, plus, like, 1 billion power from your opponent, you sometimes just lose, right? That's how it is. That's how it is. So congrats to John Garvin. Bit of a meme deck, I have to say, and I'm pretty sure he was pretty happy that he did well, being a bit of a meme player himself, right? So congrats there. And then finally, we had the premium one as well. You look at these decks, you look at this pie charts, and yeah, if you want to really see what we featured basically every single one of these decks on stream. So if you wanted to see what happened, it's there. This was done by this top 8 was 2 Bermuda Triangle, both E builds, so these are kind of a mill out deck. Then 2 Narukami, and you look at the Narukamis again, you see Vanquisher and Sweep Command. There was one of the builds was actually just the Vanquisher list, right? Both run Vanquisher, right? The Rads was like Sweep Vanquisher. One of the decks was actually just like Vanquisher, right? And then after that, we had 1 Mega Colony, a Dimension Police, Nubatama, and Oracle Think Tank. And then finally, the top 4, we had James Chong winning it with Sweep. I just want to say the Eves were both like Derek and Mark. They were having a bit of fun, right? Yeah, the James Chong won it all with just the straight up Arads deck. Very solid deck. You'll see why, right? It's just so consistent and very dominating, right? Very dominating. beating Uber Afsal with the Nubatama Hiranui Dominate kind of build. And then Jonah came third. Just pointing out, Jonah was actually the winner of Standard. So he actually just played through Premium the next day and did really well, getting into the invites, right? So well, this one's not sponsored though, but since he already has a sponsored Standard invite, this at least gives him, should be like Harmonix Messiah, right? So that's pretty good value. Just playing with the Vanquish all the way to third place, beating up Max Pay, playing Greedon, right? So unfortunately, Greedon fights against Narukami. Not a very good matchup. Just kind of don't have fun. Pretty auto lose there, so unfortunate for him. But yeah, all in all, very good games. Nice to see some good premium, right? If you want to see some premium matches and you don't know where you go, at least you can see some. Yeah, so congrats to everyone involved. And then after that, we had Vancouver. So Vancouver was pretty interesting, and it's not because of the deck list, but I'll show you why. So first off, we had 2 Alista and 2 Tamura. So Tamura, okay, crazy. And then after, we had the Minerva, Gandiva, Zorga, and Hexa, just one of each. And this was just won by Stephen Lee, right? Who already has won another tournament a while back. But yeah, running Minerva, doing very well first place, beating out Hexa Orb in the top 2 fight, Brandon Douglas, and then we have Gandiva in third place, and Kelvin Chan with the Tamura. I do think the Tamura is actually pretty good. It's definitely, you know, it actually hits really good numbers, really strong, and should be pretty fine. Like I just when I see the Tamuras there, I'm just like, I'm not like kind of phased. I'm just going, yeah, finally, right? But Stephen Lee now has another win under his belt, this time in Standard. So he is gaining the Bushi miles, right? The Bushi freaking fly points, racking up all those, not just the PRs currently, but getting a choice in what he wants to play for, right, at Worlds. I feel like it's not going to be Standard, but we'll see how it is, right? And then they also had like the Netherlands happening as well. So this was the V Premium in Netherlands. 2 Aquaforce and Shadow Paladin, 1 Grand Blue, 1 Genesis, 1 Link Joker, and Spike Brothers. And this was the Spike Brothers coming in first. I think this is Hearth Hayai, right? Which is, if that was the case, then not unexpected. Because I'm pretty sure Hearth, if you know him, is a big Spike Brothers fan. The other 2, these are kind of weird though. So second was Aquaforce, apparently it's Aurelian and Candelier. Third was like Gledios, right? This was Tufshin Tulgar, right? So if you recognize the name from VRO, right? Playing, I think it was a bit of a Link Joker fan. Played a couple of Masai decks, and then fourth was Tamim Nazari playing Aquaforce as well. So pretty nice. What is the Tamura list? You have a quick list here. Pretty standard, I have to say, right? A lot of just kind of the only thing that's not standard is the the dolls, right? The doll ratio is weird. I guess he's running six dolls, but there's a clear favorite on, you know, which one is better. So clearly this grade 2 is better than the other one, which I have to say it's correct, because, you know, drawing a card is kind of better than the kind of the spot removal, but at the same time the Rumi is pretty nice compared to the other one, which gives power, but I don't really think it's as good as like counter charging, right? So all in all, very interesting, because normally you do like a 3-3 split and then call it a day, but it's only like doing like 2-4, but then like 4-4-2, right? So, you know, Rumi, and then you have the 2 Rumi there, so it makes the 6, right? And then you just add, you have extra slots to add in things like Tsukuyodachi, right? And then some of the cyclers. Okay, pretty nice. Also, yeah, just the order like 1-3. And then after that, we do go back to Vancouver again, and as you can see, the Stephen Lee, right, made it into the first top 4. It's how does he do it? Went insanely God mode, right? Just went first. Alright, already have an invite for Premium, doesn't matter. Still wants another Moigito. And with Nova Grapplers, right? Nova Grapplers in a format where, you know, Nova Grapplers kind of doesn't exist yet, right? You look at when you think of Premium, what are you thinking of? You're thinking of Narukami Eradicators. You're thinking of Ghidorah, right? You're thinking of, I don't know, maybe this Highlander. I mean, Steven last time topped with won with Highlander as well, right? So this time going just with the Novas and taking it all, right? Second was Andrew Share with the Highlander, and then third and fourth was Man Lamb with Eradicators, and Alicia Doremus with the Eradicators as well. And the rest of top 8, right? Those 3 Narukami there, and then 1 Bermuda Triangle, Dimension Police, Gold Paladin, Kagero, and Nova Grappler. So yeah, Nova, like Kagero. I think Steven's top 8 opponent was the Kagero, but hey, Nova Grapplers brought it home. So it's very, very, very cool to see. And then after that, we had the V Premium top 8 for top 4 for Vancouver. There are two Night Rows made in the top 4. So first was David Nguyen, and then second was Anthony Sang with the Leopold, right? And third was Charlie Tran. So this is Card Dweeb. Congratulations. We'll be seeing him at Worlds again, right? For probably his favorite format, I have to say. V Premium. He came like second last year, so this time might be able to get the gold. Also taking Night Rose, and then Mimi Share is the Davis list 4th place. And then to get the breakdown, pretty standard top 8, like nothing really too outrageous, like an Armor Break Dragon or anything like that. Yeah, 2 Grand Blue, 2 Aqua Force, and it's like a Bermuda Triangle, Great Aging, and a Genesis. Right? Overall, this one pretty straightforward. And then just taking a quick look, this is the Stephen Lee Nova Grappler list. Not really sure what to think of it. As you can see, there's some of the PR support that Nova's got. But then you combo like the history collection. We got Arnis there, I guess. If you want to build some bustering, you can. Or even just you got the Merciless Dragon. Pretty interesting. I'm just wondering how like Nova Grappler actually does. I mean, Steven won with it, so obviously there is some potential there. But just like what is like pushing this, or what pushed this ahead versus bring any other deck, right? That's probably what I have to think about. Lots of multi-attack, I guess like some of the new multi-attack options that Nova has now makes it like less limited by things like Counterblast. So if you look at, I guess it's Zandar, right? Top 5 makes it more consistent. Yeah, and then you also actually what? No, this is the PR, but it's the other PR. So look at top 5, grab a Extreme Battler. I guess that's nice. You're like literally like free, right? Like a free power, and then gives power, right? I guess it gives power, so it's pretty big. But then you got this new, yeah, this is the grade 2 support, and this one actually lets you stand another thing without any CB, which is like pretty much the best thing that you can have as a Nova Grappler without any GB restrictions. So like this one, Golsachi is like GB restricted, but this has resistance. It's a bunch of power by itself. That's why it's like you still play it. So overall, yeah, pretty cool, right? Pretty cool to see just Nova doing well, and Steven getting another win, right? Just going like Super Saiyan, right? Going max bank high. Look, three first place already this season. That's not including some insane BRO runs he's been doing. So really, probably looking like a pretty good year for Steven, yeah. Then next we have the Netherlands. So they had the standard tournament. This was one having 3 Greedons in top 8 with 2 Minervas, and then 1 Gandiva, 1 Ballista, and Ava. Yeah. And this top 4, right? Cyril coming in first with the Greedon. Then second place was Greedon. The third place was Greedon. So apparently they're all French as well, I think. Like Abel and Romain, Cyril, all French players. So clearly there's something there with French Greedon. And I heard they tested the list together, just beating out Gandiva as well. And, Greedon, I think people have been kind of sleeping on it. We have seen, like, Greedon results in the past, right? And, it's been happening in Asia. If you look at, like, the Korea lists, there's been some Japanese lists all running pretty much the same build, right? The same core build. Maybe, like, there's a 1 or 2 card difference, but it's been doing pretty well. Just, I feel like not everyone's been respecting it or, you know, paying attention to it because they see, hey, you know, well, this is there, this look at Diva. Whoa, look at this shiny deck called like Bastion. You know, Orphis Mask came out. Hey, it looks pretty good. But Greedon's been doing some pretty good things, I think. And like, you look at the builds. I think even Derek's been playing it. Derek likes it a lot. I actually like it a lot too. Right? I recently played it a few times. I'm like, wow, this deck's actually pretty good. Out of the decks that came out of set 11, this one definitely had the most potential. So seeing like a bunch of other players also doing well with it, just like agreeing. And also building the deck list that is similar to like the other ones that have been doing well, because there's also, you know, the separation of people who think like, you know, we've got to run Kennen and things like that. But it looks like the Incane one is the correct, and that's just basically the list that everyone's kind of been hopping on and just getting a lot of success with. So Greedon really showed up here, especially the Netherlands. And then we also had the Premium list. We had 2 Link Joker, then 1 Narukami, Grand Blue, Oracle Think Tank, Fukuoka Neo Nectar, and Bermuda Triangle. So pretty big, diverse cut right there. And the winner was actually Anthony Howe with the Chaos, but then we have Maxime Solomon second place with the Grand Blue, managing to squeeze it in and getting an invite for his probably favorite format, Premium. We would have to play V Premium anymore. So big congrats. He managed to just get enough testing, which I don't think he was trying to get a lot of testing done in the last I guess 1 week before the tournament, because looks like he had some other tournaments to grind for, but apparently the prize cards really convinced him to play, because Harmonix Messiah is pretty good, right? Third place was another Maxime. This was Maxime Gelon with the Susano. This is the OTT Maxime that we see a lot in the Europes. And then fourth was another Chaos of Matteo Balducci, right, coming fourth. So congrats to all, right? Congrats to all. And then let's look at a list. So this is the Greedon list that has been doing very well in the Netherlands, right? As you can see, yeah, it's the Incane build, you know, with, you know, the Dragon Tree wretches, and the horse that just forces like a lot of guard from your opponent unexpectedly, and just some extra shield. So this is, I feel like this is a very similar list to the other core lists that have been popping up in Asia in the past, and something that, you know, everyone else is playing to some success with some degree. But it's just a solid deck. Just a solid deck with a solid strat, solid build, and you know, just get some solid drive checks and you'll win. Pretty cool. I feel like this is basically the Overlord of the current era, right? Old Overlord, get out of here. This is the new one. And when it goes off, there's literally nothing that any deck can do, right? Willista draws a bunch, or their hand can disappear. Gandiva retires a lot, but when you only have like 2 front rows to retire, your best harvest isn't really doing that much, and suddenly your opponent, how do you guard against, you know, multi-guard restricts, lots of crit, high power decks, right? You really can't, so that's where Greedon is. That's just how it is. Right, good deck. Next we have is Malaysia as well. So going back, look at this stand, look at this pie chart. Right, thanks Fuzzy. It always makes the greatest pie charts, but look at these thighs, man. Great. But this was dominated by 4 Minervas and 2 Alista, then Gandiva and a Zorga. So Malaysia looking pretty thick here, right? And this was actually not won by Minerva. First place was Ray Perez, taking home with the Zorga masks, and then second was Chin Hao. I don't know how to say it, with the Minerva. Third was Hazik Irfan with the Minerva as well, and then fourth was Joseph Clemente with the Willista. So Zorga taking it back. That's actually not that surprising. I think it's more surprising to see 4 Minerva there than the Zorga, because like overall the Zorga is relatively consistent. You know, it's got a very strong game plan. Minerva on the other hand, you know, slightly more consistent, but also a bit more high roll, and kind of just, you know, it can die. So seeing it survive so many rounds is pretty crazy. And then next we have is the Malaysia V Premium. This is a 4 Bermuda Triangle, but they're all kind of different. So, you know, you got the 2 Orange, then the 1 Melody, and 1 Highlander, and then 2 Aquaforce, and 1 Shadow Paladin, and 1 Gold Paladin. And then here we have is Yuan coming in first with Orange. Second was Nick Chi with the Melody. Third was Rixon Chu right? With the Aquaforce, and fourth was Benjamin Teo with the on. So all kind of names that I recognize, which is crazy, right? They're all the V Premium players. A lot of them are also the Bermuda players. Look at this, 3 Bermuda players in top 4. Basically all Blue Clan domination in top 4, right? And then the PR we have is the Premium with 3 Narukami, 2 Link Joker, 2 Bermuda Triangle, and then 1 Shadow Paladin. This was Raging Form Shadow Paladin. That's interesting. And then this was actually just won by Anthony Sean Yu, right? With the Rads taking first place again, right? Just a very solid list. Beating out Yang Yu Ching, playing Melista, right? Melista second place. Third was Ray Perez again with the Rads, and then fourth was Shun, right? Shun with the Chaos. So, yeah, so Melista finally taking a second place after a while, like, you know, bubbling around and finally making top 8, top 4, and getting that top 2. So, very, very cool. Very, very cool. And then after that, we do have Deluxe. Deluxe top 16 deck breakdown. Not going to go through it all, but as you can see, some of the big, I guess, like, you know, the first 3 decks now, 7 Youthberg, 6 Mygo, and 5 Drejewald in the Japanese metagame. This is pretty much the big 3 right now. You have the best deck out of the late stage decks, right? The slower decks, which is Drejewald. And you have the best deck out of the quick decks, which is Mygo. And then you have the best decks out of, like, the Ride Grade 3 mid-range kind of decks, which is, you know, Youthberg, just the explosive, full blast kind of build. And then after that, you have things like, you know, 5 Bash and the Leonorn, Shamo kind of thing. So overall, just after that, just a bunch of everything. Yeah. And if you want to take a look at just kind of the Swiss breakdown, so at the end of Swiss, the winning deck was like the undefeated decks was just like, you know, lots of Mygo, yeah, Shamo also there as well. But everyone running different versions of Youthberg, right? You know, to kind of make it into top cuts and, you know, cheese some diversity. You either run Skyfall Arms, you run Proto Skyfall Arms, and you go, look at that. Look at that. Even the diversity cheese for Bastion as well, right? Accord. Well, this one has like the double Bastion deck, so it's like, you know, Bastion, and then Accord, like in the same thing, right? Shamo again, you know, Kyrie making G also making a stand, but then you kind of go furthermore, right? It's like, you know, Aminia also doing it. This one's a Shana. And then I think from 7th place onwards, that's when the diversity card starts, because you start seeing just a lot of weird lineups. I guess the Drejewald is not weird, right? So you got a one-off Drejewald. Then you got like Monster and Avantgarde, right? So that one is kind of strange. And then, you know, yeah, it's like Monica. Maybe it's actually 9. Actually, no, I think it looks like, I think it's 7. 7 or 6 is when it starts. Finally seen Orphis, Mini Gruzo. I haven't seen those in a while. But the Felty Rose are here as well. And then we got Prison, right? Prison, I guess, like, Prison theoretically is like okay against Full Blast, but then, you know, if they can keep a Sequana and Soul, then it feels bad for you because they just keep on calling out the Sequana, Minerva showing up, and then the last top 16 for diversity card. Really, actually not that diverse. You see a bunch of the lists already. These are basically the same lists as everything else that you've seen. Nothing really crazy except maybe for the Felty Rosa, I have to say. And then going back, we have the top 4 finish. So first place was the Morphonica, Mygo, and Drejewald list, right? So very nice. And then after that, we had the Leonorn, Mygo, and Shamo. And then the double Bastion with the Full Blast. And then fourth was the Curry Pun list with the Jiva, Full Blast, and Leonorn. So that's pretty nice. And that's pretty much all the lists, right? I'm not going to go too deep into this one. If you want to see some of these lists, all the deck codes are listed here in Japanese deck logs, so go check it out. I mean, I feel like most of them we would have seen like last couple of weeks, but, you know, we'll see more doing things like top decks, especially like this week for the BCSs. There's a lot of deck codes not revealed yet, which I think is fine, right? I think it's kind of cringe when people leak like players' deck codes without, you know, everyone's approval. Like usually Bushro just does a top 4, but, you know, even top 8 sometimes get leaked, which is not cool. But then, you know, players, if they want to, they can always post their deck list, and normally we might see that in and VG Top Decks this week, which should maybe have a lot because there's so many to go. There was just so many events, right? This isn't even covering like the trail VGCSs that happened. But look, it's been a rough weekend for Fuzzy, I guess, with all the pies he had to make. So go support him on his website, VG Paradox. You'll see if the deck codes get updated. You also see them there, and just basically everything else, all the info there too. So big thanks to him. And also, if you want to see Vanguard games streams, go support our live stream, our vlog. Well, there should be a VOD on our channel. Go support that. And maybe if Bouchard sees, wow, this is really successful, people are loving it a lot, they might make more streams, right? This stream, by the way, was done by me and team, so it's more scuffed than I think was usual. I had a lot of fun doing it. I might just make a stream, just kind of talking about it later on, how it all went down. But overall, it was I think it was pretty nice just seeing those games, and hopefully you all had some fun watching it, or will have fun watching it too. But that's it from me. Thanks all for coming. Thanks for all for watching the video. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you all next time. Right? Bye.